This is Appalachian Television Omni-Media, improving America. 302. You're listening to Midnight in the Wasteland. This is NightWatch. Tonight's broadcast is seasonal, if the calendar can be trusted. A thin little holiday, stitched with string and memory. Lanterns are welcome. Candles, too. Pull them closer, and be sure to mind the edges of the light. This one starts warm and ends a different way. Out past Foundation, a hill holds a house the old maps never named. Locals call it the Pumpkin House, for obvious reasons. Gourds on the porch rail, painted grins that flake every winter. A yard that remembers October, even when the snow forgets. A group of settlement kids found that place, scavenging for fun, not hunger. Too young to be scared properly, and old enough to carry a knife. They were laughing because the air was cold, and laughter makes a good coat. Reports agree on the first part. The front door was open. The air smelled like cinnamon and machine oil. In the kitchen, this is the detail that repeats. A Mr. Handy stood waiting, its plating dented. A jack-o'-lantern face cut right into its chest. It introduced himself as Jack-o'-lantern, voice cheerful as a greeting card, manners like a shopkeeper, a game to offer, if there are any takers. The oldest girl, L, short for something longer, asked what kind. Jack bobbed in the air, arms whirling. Simple, it said. Bring me pumpkins, as many as your little hands can carry. Do that, and there will be a prize. The dare sounded easy. The reward sounded bright. They raided the yard, the road, and the ditches down the hill. Armfuls of orange moons, boots in the frost, laughter skipping ahead like a scout. They rolled the haul inside, stacked it in the kitchen, and held out small, cold hands. Jack-o'-lantern spun around once, humming. From a tin on the counter, he poured a careful measure of seeds into the oldest girl's palm. Small, striped, warm, as if they remembered a sun no one had seen in years. Plant these, came the cheerful voice. They're special. They'll keep your harvest glowing forever. Faces change at that word. Special. Even in the ruins, children keep a cupboard for secret things. The seeds were split like candy. Some carried towards Foundation, some to a trading family near Sutton Station. One packet full to a tarp and scrape camp near Flatwoods. Promises were made. If anything sprouted, notes would fly. First lanterns would be lit from living gourds, and the pumpkin house would see October again. First word came from Watch at Foundation, a woman who keeps one eye at the gate and the other on the weather. She saw the children out late, bundled, brave, patting the dirt like it could hear. 2 nights later, she swore the soil kept its own heat after sundown. Not fever, a quiet, steady warmth, like a sleeping creature deciding not to wake. Then the vines came, faster than beans, faster than the weeds that never die. They climbed fence posts, remembered railings and houses that didn't deserve railings anymore. Leaves as big as plates. A slick feel, as if oil had learned to be green. Bend close at night, when the wind thins. And some say a whisper can be heard. Not words, but just a hush a child makes when hiding. Sutton's letter arrived next. Backyard went a shade too green. The youngest put a seed under the bed to keep the monsters out. By morning, it had sprouted right through the floorboard. His sister named the vine. The family laughed. You know the way families laugh when they're choosing not to worry yet? Flatwood stayed silent a week. Then a runner brought a note, and the kind of face that tries not to grin. The fruit stayed warm, even when the air turned cruel. At first, the glow was only a blush, coals pretending not to be coals. But by the sixth night, it was steady. Lantern enough without a lantern. On the hill itself, the story stays secondhand. Stragglers who pass that way say the house still wore its grin. Say the Mr. Handy met travelers at the door, like a clerk who never learned to leave. It asked after pumpkins politely. It spoke of helpers. It called the children kind. It praised candlelight, the way the priests praise rain. One line repeats in more than one mouth. The world is prettier by candlelight, sweet to light the thing you love. On the slope below the porch, vines had found old iron. A fence post wrapped so tight, the rust started to look like blood that had learned how to wait. Air near the roots can smell like damp metal, and something gentle that doesn't belong to any season, worth trusting. Listeners who stand long enough say the hush gets louder. If there's a voice in that patch, it keeps its own language. Back towards foundation, a girl with careful hands keeps a pumpkin no bigger than a baby's head. Neighbors have seen it. Warm as a pocket stove, held to the ear like a conch from a drawn coast. It tells when to water, the girl says. Her mother stands nearby, hands tucked in sleeves. Not saying yes, not saying no. This part of the year is never just fear. It is memory. And small bright lies that make the dark polite. Maybe the children planted light because the nights grew long. Maybe a machine stitched a holiday from leftover code and longing. Maybe both, and both were hungry. More whispers arrive each dusk. More whispers about vines, or talk of candles that don't need wax. Some claim the gorge choose where to grow. Bedsides, thresholds, yard corners that remember games. Some insist the leaves lean towards voices, towards names, toward places where a laugh once kept warm. One trader swears a path with little lanterns lit itself from a garden, all the way to the stoop. No one knocked. The door opened anyway. No one came out. The Mr. Handy's niceness is the heaviest piece. No threats reported. No shouted orders. Just games. Just gifts. Just praise for helping. And an idea repeated until it fits. Harvest that glows forever. Candlelight inside the things you love. Kindness can be a net when it's woven tight enough. Now a caution for anyone listening with a garden or a child. If the dirt feels warm after sundown, wait before you plant again. If leaves shine slick in the moonlight, do not taste them. If a machine offers gifts, ask the price in favors, not caps. If the price is helping, ask who's getting helped and how much of them remains. Halloween survives in the wasteland because memory is stubborn. Pumpkins on old porches, paper faces taped to cracked glass. Stories that find the path even when the road is gone. Gifts, too, are stubborn. Some gifts arrive gentle and keep asking for more than one favor. Reports will continue. Notes will be sorted. What is true? What is afraid? What is both at once? The frequency will carry all of it. The air has room for warnings. For tonight, a worry to set beside your lantern. Maybe the real trick was convincing these children they'd done something good. This is NightWatch. If your garden glows after sundown, be gentle with it. Gentle doesn't always mean harmless. You've been listening to Midnight in the Wasteland.